Hey. Take pictures.
Tickets?
Thank you.
Wow. He's providing him with more weapons, another sword, to help him to defeat his enemies. Come closer. Closer, closer. On a very big scale, Ramesses III standing in one hand, in his left hand he's holding a whole big number of his enemies. Okay? Look at the faces of the enemies. Does it look Egyptian? Look at the beard, the hairstyle, the face. Persians. The artist wanted to show the difference between the faces of the locals here and the enemies he's fighting. Like in Hatshepsut, the African people, he gives them more darker color. So he's holding the enemies and he's ready to strike them, holding a weapon in his right hand. This is happening in front of God Amun-Ra, and Amun-Ra is actually happy with the king, so he's providing him with more weapons, another sword, to help him to defeat his enemies. Come closer. Closer, closer. Much closer. So, we know this shape is called cartouche. Okay, inside of it is meant to have the king's names, but in this condition you'll see the cartouche, but in top of each cartouche there is a small, the half or the upper part of a person. Their hands are tied behind their back, and if you look at the neck there is a rope and a knot. Did you see it all? How many cartouches do we have here? Starting from the far left, 2 rows, reaching all the way to the end, and then we have 5 long columns. If you have time, you can start counting. These are the enemies, the combined cities and towns that were allied against Egypt. So Ramesses III had to fight the combined armies of all these nations to bring them back to order under the Egyptian flag.
måling. Ja.
Soldiers are literally stepping on them. Like here, on the second level, an enemy falling to the ground under the legs of the horses. Despite their numbers were in their favor, they couldn't stand a chance against the trained soldier of the Egyptian Empire. Here is just to show the victory of the king over at a bigger scale, and in front of him, this man holding a flag, that's his vizier or minister, and the vizier is bringing him the good news about the victory. But the king wanted a proof, wanted to humiliate his enemies. See this file of hands. That's correct. Over here, you're going to see one of the enemies, one of the fallen captives. Can you see it? His hands are tied in front of him. Behind this enemy, one of the Egyptian soldiers holding an axe. Can you see it? And he's literally taking him to chop his hands. And the man in front of the enemy is holding a tablet and a feather. And he's writing down the numbers. As I said, he really wanted this to never happen again. I know it's very cruel, right? To do this to your enemies, it's very cruel, especially if they are trying to win their freedom. But actually, that wasn't the only thing he cut off.
Oh.
There is another pile on the wall.
They don't want to be behind it.
Oh wow.
But why?
The reason I told you.
It's humiliated.
He lost most of his army in this war.
So he wasn't thinking that he doesn't want them to have more peace.
No, it's not about that.
Okay.
It's about never allow them to try this ever again. Because he only did this to the soldiers, not to the civilians. Okay? So the civilians were safe.
Oh wow. Taking video.
Come closer. When we entered this temple, you said something about writings.
Forgot.
That you were deep
Yes, yeah.
to the desert, to the quarry, bring the stones, shape it, move it, and then fit it in. Or sometimes it's a lot easier to erase the name and put my name instead. When Ramesses III wanted to build this temple, he didn't want anyone to come near it. He didn't want anyone to steal it, to hide his name and put a new name instead. So, when it comes to the king's name, to the king's cartouche, he made sure it gets so deep that you can either fit your entire arm inside. So only with the name, you can fit your entire hand inside. So no one will try or bother trying to cover this. You cannot. That's sandstone. So even if you try to fill it with any other material and then try to carve a new name, eventually it's going to get broken. The only way is to move the entire block of stone and put a new one. How are you going to do that?
So he did this only with his hands, for his name.
For his names.
Only for his
The
name.
other writings, you can find that it's not as deep as his name, because he wanted his name to be remembered over history. So the other writings is not deep, as you can see. It's deeper than any other temple, especially with the name. That's the deepest in our history had been made. Here was supposed to be a hall filled with columns and a ceiling, okay? And in front, all the way over there was supposed to be the sanctuary, where the king was supposed to be in. Is there something funny about this hall? Come closer. These things, these columns, are destroyed or cut. Cut. It's not destroyed. It didn't happen in the ancient Egyptian times, but it happened in modern ages. To be more accurate, during the king who ruled Egypt, called Muhammad Ali, not the boxer, a different Muhammad Ali. He ruled Egypt during 1801. Egypt at this time was following the Ottoman Empire. And one of the Ottoman's policy is to keep all the countries under its command weak and poor. When Muhammad Ali took over Egypt, or was ruling Egypt, Egypt was very poor, was in very bad condition. It didn't have any kind of glory like it used to have. He wanted to change that. So he started to build schools, hospitals, factory for production, war factory, rebuild the Egyptian army and fleet. He started to send scholars back to Europe to study over there and then bring them back. But the question, how he managed to build all of that? He used ancient temples stones. So, for example, all of these temple stones have been used to build, I'm sorry to say, a sugarcane factory.
Yes.
He cut down many temples in north, near Cairo, and many pyramids to build fortification and castles around Cairo to protect it. Yes, he is the reason behind destruction of our part of our history, but he was able to modernize all of Egypt. He brought back the strength to the army. The army of Egypt was the backbone of the Ottoman's military power. When any fight is needed, the Sultan
€3,500
Yep.
statue is open like that.
There is that guard over there. You just don't pay. That's all. Or look at the last one over there.